Okay, day 60 of 365 days of meditation. I did not get up early to meditate this morning. I went to bed way too late last night for that. So I did an evening practice, which I just wrapped up. The practice was a little fragmented. In total, it was about 2 hours and 50 minutes long, so just shy of 3 hours. However, I was interrupted twice. The first time, I think it was probably about 45 minutes into the meditation, and I got up to see what was going on outside the room. My wife was crashing around in the kitchen, and then I think that's her her way of trying to get me to meditate in the morning instead. Perhaps maybe just make noise while I'm trying in the evening instead. A gentle nudge, if you will. And then I was interrupted by an alarm on my phone that I forgot to turn off. And I think that was probably about an hour and a half into the meditation. So yeah, I had kind of a 45-minute interval, got up, opened the door, sat back down, had another 45-minute interval, alarm went off, turned off the alarm, and then followed that up with about a hour and 15, hour and 20-minute interval. So a lot of meditation regardless. So long and so fragmented, I can't remember a lot of the details, but I was listening to this podcast earlier today that a friend sent to me called Conscious Education Podcast. I'll put a link to it, and I think if I can put a link to it, I will. But anyway, the gist of it was asking questions. The practice was sort of asking your subconscious questions, sort of leading open-ended questions, but framing them in a way that you kind of are priming your subconscious to provide a positive answer, or to look at the positive or possibility rather than focusing on negative. So as an example, you could ask the question something like, rather than saying, why am I in pain? Because then you're focusing on pain. You could say, what could I do to support my healing? Or, instead of saying, why do I suffer with my mental health? What could I do to feel mentally well, or make myself feel more mentally well? So those are the types of questions that you would ask. I actually, in meditation, do a bit of that already anyway. I always do a bit of that. I think I may have learned that from Joe Dispenza's meditation. He leads with similar questions when you're doing visualizations about the future. He always asks questions like, what would it be like to live in that way? What would your life look like if you thought or believed those things? Those sort of questions. So yeah, I put a bit more emphasis on the open-ended questions in meditation today, probably just, like I said, inspired by that Conscious Education podcast. So I really pushed on that, or leaned on that lever hard today. And yeah, it yielded some interesting results. Seemed to get an answer back for most of the questions right away. I did later in the meditation, though, find myself asking some questions that maybe weren't the most positive. I think in the third segment of the meditation, one of the ones was just thinking about, I ended up thinking about times when I was struggling with my mental health at a very young age, as a child even, and just kind of wanting to know why. Like what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of a child struggling with their mental health? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm looking for answers that don't exist. But yeah, I spent a bit of time in that period of my life where I was in a bit of a mental health ditch, so to speak. And yeah, it was difficult. Like I said, I can't recall the details. I never can recall the details that well after meditation. I find if I'm trying to remember details, I'm not really in the moment and heavily involved in the meditation. But I can say it was emotionally charged. There was a lot of freaking anger today again. And I think it ties into just a sense of outrage that I had to go through that. I remember feeling when I was younger, just suffering and being just full of outrage, rage, anger as to why this was occurring to me, and not knowing at all. You know, I guess from a big picture perspective, I still don't know why. So that was one of the open-ended questions I asked. Well, what is the purpose of this today? But yeah, no answers on that. So yeah, I think that was the gist of the meditation today. In going back to that time in my life where I was struggling out with my mental health, you know, every time I do that, there tends to be some tears, a lot of pain in those years. So yeah, interesting thought. I mean, 60 days in, and you know, I don't know if this is working or how effective it is, but I guess I committed to the full year, so I'm just going to keep going. I don't know if I have been succeeding lately in the idea of sitting down and meditating till I'm in love with my life, but definitely working through some shit. And today's practice was no exception. So that's it. Yeah, in conclusion, you know, if you're struggling with your mental health at all, if you're feeling anxious or depressed or experiencing obsessive compulsive disorder or just unable to cope with your mental and emotional state, struggling with life and it's taking you down, talk to somebody. Dude, helped me get out of, or start to emerge from some of the darkest places that I've been in my life, mentally, emotionally. So it can help. Right now I'm struggling a little bit for words of encouragement, I guess. I'm feeling a little bit frustrated myself. There's definitely some more there in my subconscious that I'm trying to reconcile, and it's frustrating and annoying and irritating and aggravating and I don't know what the word is, but it's all of those words, I guess, and then some. So, but yeah, again, if you are struggling with your mental health, talk to somebody. It will help. I know I'm not the best cheerleader at the moment, but it will help. That's it. Thanks for watching.